Great work, guys. So we're in a situation now where it's 1-1. First person to 3 wins moves on. Match number 3, when you're in the rubber match, is so pivotal.
Yeah. Taking that 2-1 lead, then you get 2 more tries, whereas your opponent is always playing for his life from then on out. It's
right.
Mentally, it's a big deal.
Absolutely. Well, countdown started, so we're going to get this going. Who do you think is going to win?
All right, Cloud Kingdom. I'm just going to keep siding with VortiX. I don't know why, but the kid has kind of won me over. What a powerful style.
Well, I mean, if he keeps this pattern up, I don't know what Terran player could beat him. He has the most perfect way to tech 2 Broodlords, and then when he does those Broodlord pushes, he always makes them work. Let's intro our players. So in the bottom left, we thought he was the underdog going into this. Then after a little while, he became the dark horse. Now I'm starting to wonder, is he the favorite to win the whole thing? Make some noise for VortiX. And in the upper right, in the blue, the toughest Terran here in the Intel Extreme Masters, at least for this tournament. Give it up for SuperNova.
All right, so it's Cloud Kingdom, as we were mentioning before. Definitely going to be a fine map for SuperNova to be attacking the third base of VortiX on. It's a little bit further to walk to than some of these other maps. 4 queens off of creep. It'll take a bit. Again, I really feel like VortiX, I'd love to see him go for one of these 6 queen openings as opposed to the 4.
It's interesting that we never see him do that.
Yeah. Well, every Zerg has his own way, but you'd think that you might mix it in a little bit if your opponent is kind of countering you well. But,
yeah.
I mean, I guess last game with the mass speedling, he was able to take out those Hellions and thus negate the damage of their harassment. It's kind of a funny thing to rely on, though.
It really is. We really don't see Zergs play like VortiX, and that's really a sign of genius if he's beating this many pros, because he's figured out his own way to play the game, and he's having a tremendous amount of success with that.
Mm-hmm. Another command center first here for SuperNova. VortiX, on the other hand, just going for his own straight-up hatchery first. What I'd like to see out of him if he scouts his command center quickly is double hatchery before the pool. I love it when Zergs do that against Terrans that go command center first.
Yeah, it's a really smart move to do.
Well, it looks like he just wants to get that up anyways. Didn't see the command center, so had to be a little bit safe. Makes sense.
Now the drone is going to go ahead and lead now. He has all the information that he needs. So, do you think SuperNova, just judging from the one refinery, do you think he's going to go for the Banshees again? No cloak, but...
Yeah, I think he will tech up to Banshees, and I think he will definitely go mech. That's... if you're going to go bio, normally you're going to grab the 2 Raxes right away. But we'll see if VortiX changes anything up because of this, because there's going to be almost no units out for SuperNova until he really starts the Hellion production. Might get a Marine, might get 2, but I don't foresee much more than that. And in fact, he's making 8 lings, so he's realized kind of what's going on here.
VortiX, an adaptable player.
Seems so. Well...
And from here, we're just going to have to see how SuperNova actually just reacts, SuperNova needs to be an adaptable player. But, I don't know, SuperNova never always strikes me as somebody who's more aggressive and micro-y than somebody who's got the master plan. Does that make sense?
Absolutely, yeah. He doesn't plan out his entire game to the same degree as some players do. It's more, let's get in there, let's get dirty. I'm really good at everything.
Yeah, I'm really good at control. I'm good at reacting.
Mm-hmm.
I almost feel like SuperNova had some help with this opener. Do you know what I mean? It seems very un-SuperNova-ish. Maybe he did do it on his own. I don't know.
Well, he's been showing a lot of mech this weekend against Zerg. But I would say specifically what he did, especially in the first game, 4GG probably helped him out with. But look at this. He's actually not going to go for mech. He's actually going to reactor to Hellions and adding a couple Raxes. So this is interesting.
And what's funny is VortiX is his opener was meant for the build order from the last 2 games, not for what's going on now. So if VortiX had gone and gotten that early third hatch, he would have been in his element.
Well, I am super interested to see how this actually goes down. What is SuperNova going to do? We have seen him recently in the GSL actually go for like a Hellion Marine push that can be very powerful, but hasn't worked out for him. In fact, I think that's how he got eliminated in this last season.
Yeah, that was how he got eliminated. But his Lings, I believe, the Lings actually got him at a really good angle. You know, you can't.
Yeah.
You always actually, you never want it when you run with Hellions. Never run them hugging a wall like this.
Yeah.
You always want them in the middle in the open so they can always turn in any direction.
Well, right now we actually have a Roach Warren on the way. Combat shields here for SuperNova. So it looks like SuperNova definitely going to hit a timing, but against Lings and Roaches, it's not the type of timing he wants to do.
Putting a few more creep tumors down here, trying to connect that over. Here come the first 3 Hellions. There should be another one around here somewhere. And nice, just a nice. Also note, I guess he is going to continue to make Hellions here. And yeah, I think he actually might do that timing or toast. I think you're right. This attack that a SuperNova is planning on doing right now, what he wants to do is get the Marines with the combat shields in the front. And oddly enough, the Marines are there to tank the damage, while the Hellions are there to deal the damage.
And I tell you, the Marines are going to do a lot of damage as well, but of course not Splash. They help out a lot with the Queens as well, if you can target that a little bit.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And you know what? SuperNova has actually kind of tricked VortiX here. VortiX is just blindly getting Spore Crawlers. So that's, I mean, he's thinking, okay, a Banshee must be coming. He's going to be awfully surprised when a bunch of Marines with combat shield walk across this map.
And when you think of how many minerals and the drone, of course, all that stuff lost for the Spore Crawler, which is basically completely useless. This one as well, and this one as well. That could have gone into Lings or Roaches or later on a Macro Hatch. All right, the timing's coming. A few Marauders in here to make sure that the Roaches don't deal too much damage.
Yeah.
Stim on the way, so by the time this rush has almost destroyed the hatchery, if it does work, Stim will be done, so you can keep pushing forward.
And in fact, there's not a lot of units out here. 2 Lings and 4 Roaches with 4 more Roaches on the way. Now 5. So he's going to lose this hatchery. There's just no way for him to keep it. And losing the hatchery at this timing is VortiX's special power.
I know, man. Nobody loses their 3rd hatch more than VortiX. So this hatchery goes down, as you can see here. Pushing it back a little bit, but even then, these Queens and Roaches just going to be taken out.
And the Roaches having a lot of damage dealt to them. The Queen's still up there as well. That single Marauder dealing a huge amount of damage. Down comes some Lings finally, and ooh, a very nice surround on the Marines and Marauders. But the Hellions roasting those Lings and allowing them to run away so that he can kite a bit.
So, mission accomplished here. This hatchery's gone, and he's going to go back and regroup. He may attack again when the hatchery finishes. That's this neat little trick you can do, especially to Zerg. When they finally have that expansion up, they're going to transfer drones. Then you go in there and attack. They have to move the drones back out. High chances you're going to get that hatchery because you were able to make more and more production facilities. And at the same time, the Zerg just wasn't. He lost 1/3 of his production.
Well, SuperNova just playing a very standard TVZ from here, going for siege mode, medevac, stim, all that good stuff. Meanwhile, making a command center for his 3rd base. And that's what VortiX has really been the best against. He's getting his Baneling Nest, he's getting his Zergling upgrades, in fact, making a lot of Zerglings right now, as well as his Spire. So the patented aggression of VortiX is going to come into play here.
So this is really cool. He is not even focused on economy right now. He actually, is he going to do a timing over here when Terran tries to take the 3rd?
He may. He can afford like 10 mutas if he wants as well, and this is about to finish up. In fact, yeah, he's going to start making a lot of Mutalisks.
All right, he's moving out now. SuperNova could be in for a surprise. I don't know. This is a good idea. SuperNova doing a little bit of 4GG stuff. He may be moving too much of his army out on the map too soon.
This is what VortiX wants, and here we go. Running in with a nice big stim. A lot of mutas are on the way, and here come the Roaches, forcing him to back up for now. But will he be able to escape?
He needs to get behind these minerals here.
Roaches moving forward, targeting down a lot of these Marines, and in come the mutas.
Hitting all these Marines right now. Oh my God, VortiX has done it again. He is so good at shifting gears.
That's right.
Unbelievable, man.
I tell you, the one thing that SuperNova was not expecting was that many units and mutas right thereafter.
I mean, he sacked so many drones, 46 to 66, but you know what? It totally worked.
Oh, man. We actually have Roach speed. The +1 carapace about to finish up. Banelings, Zerglings, and Baneling speed on the way. So VortiX is going into attack mode. He's not even sending drones to his third base. This is important, Tasteless. This is likely to decide the game.
He might be able to take out this base over here, take out the orbital, and even push in over here. Most of the Terrans army is, in fact, up over here. There's one siege tank on the high ground right now, but that can be taken out easily with Mutas. He's just waiting for Baneling speed. It'll be about 2 seconds.
And,
all right. Oh, we're good. This was the. Well, we're going to need the players to pause the game, but we don't have that power right now.
Yeah. All right, here we go. He's actually attacking in. We'll tell you what's going on.
We'll
I guess the Roaches and Banes flowing in. And the Muta's targeting down siege tanks. He's killed all the siege tanks at this point. And, well, down goes just about everything. GG. VortiX gives up.
All right, I don't know. We don't know what happened. But
sorry, guys.
Sorry, guys. I don't know. Oh, looks like some technical problems there. But, anyways, you guys actually didn't miss out on much. He basically did it all in there.
Yeah.
It failed. SuperNova was positioned too damn well.
Yeah.
And so SuperNova's up 2-1, Artosis.
Yeah, he is. And as we were talking about before, that's really important. SuperNova is going to feel very confident. 2 chances now to close this out.
You know, it seems like the way to beat VortiX is always to just get that third hatch and then follow it up, you know, with defense. Now, granted, SuperNova was aggressive again, and it didn't work because, you know, VortiX kind of he did a sneaky move. He just made too many attacking units in the hopes that when he got attacked, he'd take it out. It worked, but from there, what he should have done is secured his third base and, you know, droned up. Instead, he decided to do like another timing attack and just run him over, and it did not work.
Yeah, I wouldn't have minded actually seeing VortiX go ahead and attack up the other ramp. The siege tanks were on the high ground. They were all near the third base. Maybe if he attacks up the other way, it forces some unsieges, kind of a more messy
You
defense.
raised a great point, Artosis, because it was just a depot wall. He could have sent his Mutas over there, killed that. He doesn't even have to use Banelings on that, and just gone up and started hitting SCVs. The Marines are all in a mess. He can flank the Marines with the Banelings if he does something like that. So probably a lot of other ways that he could have gone about doing that, but kind of a tough situation as well. So, you know what? Before we go any further, we are.
Yeah, Day 9 is going to go ahead
Day 9?
and show the rest of the game that was missed with Polaris. So, guys.
Polaris, Day 9, take it away.
Thank you very much, guys. We are going to jump back into this game here to show you the conclusion. Yeah, we don't want anything to be missed here at the Intel Extreme Masters. So, let's jump right in.
Well, this is actually the first chance that Kilaris and I get to see what happened. Actually, Tastosis are the only ones who know the mysteries of this game. But I know the results at the very least, and I feel like the one thing that VortiX just keeps doing are these attacks that have these. He seems to be able to maneuver around it all right, but there's still these kinds of attack timings that just don't have follow-ups to them. He's still just making Lings and Roaches and Zerglings and just hoping that these attack timings will do a lot of damage.
Yeah, centrifugal hooks will finish up there, so that's a really nice timing to actually go in on. And as he comes in here, though, that's so much firepower here from the siege tanks in the back, and actually he's able to close the gap pretty nicely here against those.
But even with just, you know, nice splitting of the Banelings, being able to sort of maximize the damage across the board, this is the problem with these kinds of pushes, that they just don't have this sort of good longevity. And even coming back to this 9-minute mark, I think Tasteless said it best with basically VortiX loses this third more often than any other Zerg player I've ever seen. He's lost this a lot, and with just sheer force of skill, he's able to figure out how to bounce back. But if you're losing a hatchery like 80-90% of the time when you're taking a third, just don't take the third. Just build it here. You can still do the exact same thing that was going on in the rest of the game.
Yeah, because you're not like benefiting from that income, because obviously you've never really saturated it. You've not been able to get anything going at that mining base. Having a macro hatch on 2 base and then transitioning to a third is actually a pretty strong tactic in ZVT.
Yeah, so with that in mind, we're going to go ahead and hop into the next game with you, and we'll see you over at the Tastosis desk.